my DIY family. I'm going to show you how to put a spigot on a rain barrel that doesn't have a top that opens up. As you can see, this is latched on. There's no opening on the top. The only thing I have to work with is these little holes, one or two. As long as you have one, you're good. You don't really need two of them. But basically, I'm going to show you how to put a hole in it and put a spigot on it, and how to replace it, and give you some ideas through that. Also, it's going to be a good review on a couple of the tools items that I use. So stay tuned. Let's do this. So the two items, the two biggest items that I'm going to use is the hole saw. I bought this one from Amazon. It has a bunch of different sizes. This size that I was interested in is the 1.5 inch, because that's how wide my spigot is going to be. And here's the spigot, and this is the part that you're interested in. You want to measure, you want to make sure you get that measurement right. For me, this is the part that's 1.5 inches. So that's what I'm going to go off of. When you decide which hole saw you need to use, take it out of the box. It'll have three. It should come with the 3 pieces. What I like to do is I kind of like to match it up to this, kind of get an idea of, yes, I'm using the right size. And like I said, this one is a 1.5 inch, and it looks to fit. It looks to be the right size. So the way you put this on is you take this piece, you slide that in there. It kind of clicks in. And then you take this and you screw it on just like that. Make sure it's nice and tight so that you could put it in your drill. You'll have to figure out where you want to put your spigot, and that'll depend on where you want to put your rain barrel to catch the water, where your downspouts come through. So once you figured that out, if you only have one, well, you really don't have an option, but you kind of have to figure out how the spacing will go. So put this underneath your downspout and make sure you position it right so you know exactly where to put your spigot. If you have two like I do, I could kind of have a better idea, more options of where I want to put my spigot. But I've decided that I'm going to put it on this side, and I'm going to put it directly down from this. Now, you don't have to always put it directly down from where your opening is. The way I'm going to show you, you can actually put it anywhere. But if you do if you're able to put your spigot right at on the same side as your opening, it just makes it a little bit easier. And also, when you're putting your spigot down here, don't put it all the way at the bottom, because when you have water from your roof come down, there's going to be a lot of sediment that's kind of builds up at the bottom. You don't want to clog up your spigot just from that stuff. So it's probably best to go a little bit high, but don't go too high, because then you'll have a harder time getting that water out. And it'll just make your barrel really heavy to try to move around with that water in it if you needed to try to tilt it or do anything like that. So I usually try to just go a couple of inches up. That makes it about 5 gallons that it holds at the bottom. Now this is a 55-gallon barrel, so for me that's about 5 gallons that'll just be below the spigot line, which is fine with me. So I got my hole saw on my drill ready to go. If you see, it comes with kind of like an anchor area. So like I said, I'm probably gonna put it around here. What I'll do first is I'll first drill, use that anchor to get positioned perfectly, and then I'll kind of let the drill do the rest of it. The hole saw will kind of break through the plastic gently and kind of make it through. I don't need to put a lot of force into it. It'll kind of do its thing as I just kind of guide it. So that's kind of how you want to do it. Make sure you get that hole in first, this first hole, and then once you have that, you have it positioned, and then you kind of guide it through. So now we have the 1.5 inch hole, and I'm going to take this is the part that actually goes on the inside, so once it's inside it'll be sticking out like this. So I just want to make sure that this is actually the correct size. Kind of push it through, it fits, it's perfect. So that confirms that once I get this on the inside, I should be able to just pull it out, and it's a perfect fit. So this spigot that I got is a multi-piece spigot. They usually come in multiple pieces. It has this one, which is going to go inside the barrel. This is on the outside that connects to this, and this helps hold this piece tightly in place, so that you don't have any leakage on this side. When you're about to put this in, make sure you have this rubber seal on it tight. And what you'll need is some type of long rope. So let's go ahead and get this together, but make sure you have this plastic on tight all the way to the bottom. Make sure there's no gaps, and you'll be ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this rope, and we are going to put this rope inside the container. Kind of hard doing it one-handed, but anyways, get it in there. Like I said, it doesn't matter where you made the hole for your spigot, whether it's on any side. It doesn't really matter. Once you have your line inside, you just need a coat hanger or whatever, and you kind of just go in there and you fish for it, and you pull it out just like that. So it doesn't matter where it was. I'm able to pull it out as far as you can. The longer your rope, the better. So I have this really long rope, and I kind of get it enough so that I have a long line from both ends, just like that. So now you take the rope that's on the top. We want this one that's coming out the top. We take that, we take the end of it. Here's the end of that rope. And what you're going to do is you're going to put this inside that rope. You want to make sure that it's this way down, because once it goes down, you want to make sure it comes out this way. If you do it upside down, it's going to come out the wrong way. So make sure this part that's going to be coming out, you want it to go in first. So let's put that on the rope, just like that. I got mine on the rope, and I'm just going to lift it and let it just fall and push it through. Oh, and it's right in there. So now I could kind of control it with my two ropes. I could pull the top to bring it a little bit higher, and if you see, there it is, sticking right there, and I just have to even it out, and I could just pull it through. Perfect. Got it through. Now I could just pull out my rope if I want. And if you had to change the spigot, let's say your spigot starts leaking or it's worn or whatever, same thing. You just open it, you push it through, it falls in there. Make sure your barrel is empty, and you just dump it out, and it'll come right out. And you do the same method to put the new one back in. Real easy to replace these ones once you get it in the first time. So now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it on here just to hold it in place. I'm not going to tighten it too hard. I just want to make sure that, you know, when I'm putting the the head on this that it doesn't fall back in. So I'm just gonna put this, and now I have it secured. You see it's still, I keep it loose. I don't want to tighten it too much. With this spigot, I found out that you actually have to put some tape around this. So use some plumbing tape to wrap this first, otherwise you'll have a small drip from this. So I'll show you how to do that. So I have some of this Teflon sealant tape, and all I do is I take this and I wrap it around the spigot. Make sure you do a couple of rounds to make sure it's fully sealed and tight. So I got this wrapped up and ready to go. Let's go attach this. So as I mentioned before, you want to make sure this isn't too tight, and I'll show you why. It's because when you, let's make sure this opens and closes, okay? So when you're putting this on, you will need to adjust it. And to adjust it, you're going to want to make sure that this isn't too tight yet, so that you could adjust your spigot. So you want to make sure that you tighten this fully as much as you possibly can. Try not to use tools to tighten it. Just use your hands, because these are plastic items, so using tools sometimes damages the plastic and can actually break it. So just making sure it's fully tight. Now I could position the spigot exactly how I want it to be, and I'm going to use this to tighten it all the way. Just want to make sure it's fully tight. Okay, and then hand tighten it as much as you can. Again, try not to use tools. And you got a straight spigot. Once you have everything connected, make sure you go and fill up your container. Try to get the water level higher than your spigot, and test out your spigot. Keep it shut. Make sure that it doesn't have any leaks or anything. No leaks from down here, no leaks from up here. And once you confirm that, you are good to go. If you do have leaks, you'll have to take it apart and try to figure out how to cover those leaks. But that's pretty much it. I've used this spigot before. I like it. You can find it on Amazon. The hole saw that I used, you can also find that on Amazon. I like it pretty good. And for the price point, they're amazing. The hole saw was under 10 bucks, and this one for two of these, I think they were about $14 or $16 or something like that. So you get a 2-pack. Hope you guys enjoy this. Please like it and share it, and see you guys on the next DIY. Take care, fam.